Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So crazy, isn't it? So crazy. But anyway, what we're going to talk about in this video is Jack O'Sullivan. Now, Jack, we've talked about many times, haven't we, on this channel? This lad, he went missing, he was 22. When he went missing. And it's saying on this poster, he now would be 24, or is 24, we should say, until we know any difference. So he's been missing since the 2nd of March, 2024. So he's been missing a long, long time, bless him. And bless his family, so his mum, Catherine, she's been quite prolific on various sort of social. Well, they did have a Facebook page that had a lot of followers, but due to the good old trolls, the good old trolley dollies out there who even seem to think it's, acceptable to troll families who've got missing loved ones. Due to the trolls, the Facebook page is still there, but they're not really participating in it, the family at least. Anyway, sometimes people put things up, etc. But, unfortunately, due to the nature of the negative nature of social media, the bad things about social media, the Facebook page got trolled, which is unbelievable, really, isn't it, when you think about it? Anyway, so he's been missing all this time. As I say, we've highlighted this case several times now, haven't we, on the channel? We've been following it. And anyway, quite a few of you, a couple of you, sent me an email about this latest news. Unfortunately, not on the whereabouts of Jack, but an anonymous donor has offered a reward of £100,000 for information leading to finding out what's happened to Jack, which, it's incredible, isn't it? £100,000. Now, there has been a reward. I think it was £20,000. There was a GoFundMe, wasn't there? And there was a reward put up there, but £100,000. If anybody does know anything, which Catherine, Jack's mum, seems to be convinced, that something untoward has happened to her boy, that he got in a car or something, or somebody knows what's happened to him. So I think the problem with this case, as in with most cases, is initially the police were a little bit skeptical because, he's a young lad who'd been to a party. We'll find out exactly, the process or the timeline of what happened in a moment. We have, as I say, gone through it many times, but in case you've forgotten, we'll be going through it again. He went to a party. He decided to go home. There was some sort of problem at the party, some sort of altercation. He tried to get a taxi to come home. He spoke to his mum by text, and he told her not to worry, to come and get him. He would get a taxi. And he was. This all happened in Bristol, in the UK. He was walking around Bristol. He's been spotted on CCTV, and then he just disappeared. Anyway, we're going to look at that, as I say, all the timeline, all the things that happened. And since then, nothing, nada, zilch, just nothing. None of his possessions have been found. The police searched the water. There was a lot of water around where he went missing, and that's where they always think that young lads end up when they're, and it does, 90% of the time, I think, or probably more, it does happen. So this seems to be the police's idea of it. And Catherine, Jack's mum, she's not happy at all about the way the police have handled this case. And she has put in a complaint. And the police have referred themselves to the supposedly independent commission. So, there are complaints going on as well. Catherine said that she's had to practically do her own detective work. She found CCTV that the police didn't find. It's basically just one of those situations that, the family are not happy with the way the police have dealt with it. And the family of Jack O'Sullivan, they're a family that normally probably abide by what the police say. It's not like they've ever been in trouble with the police or anything like that. They would have wanted to trust the police. And it does seem like the police, in the initial stages of this investigation, completely cocked up the investigation. And also, according to Catherine, they've not kept in touch with her on a regular basis. It's like feels like she's irritating them, etc. Anyway, so we're going to highlight it again. The other good thing about this reward that's been offered is, of course, it's brought everything back to the fore, because we know what it's like when somebody's missing, especially when it changes to long-term missing. It's really the family that have to keep things in the public eye, because the police move on to other cases, the public forgets. Every now and again we have to talk about this case again. So it's good to give us a reason to talk about the case again. I mean, I do regular updates, but there's not normally much to update. But I think this is a significant event. And I think, gosh, if there is anyone out there who does know what's happened to Jack, I think this reward will, reel them in, hopefully. So I just want to say thank you to whoever it is. It's a mysterious donor that's put this money forward. Thank you for doing that. It's so kind. I know it's not anything to do with me. I'm not Jack's family, but it is. There are good people in the world. There are kind people in the world. The cases we follow on a true crime channel quite often can be a bit depressing. It makes you feel like there's only badness in the world. But, the kindness of offering, an anonymous person offering this money to try and find Jack, to try and put this family out of its misery, for God's sake. They're just living in this ongoing nightmare that's never ending. So it's so kind, what they're doing. Okay, and now we're going to have a look at what the family had to say about it, first of all. Because you can imagine when somebody first perhaps contacted them, I don't know, they contacted them through Facebook or however, you'd be skeptical, wouldn't you? The family would have been skeptical. Someone's offering £100,000, are they genuine? There'd be all that going on, wouldn't they? Let's have a look. Let me just make sure that's sharing. Yeah. So this is the family. This is Jack's brother. There's Jack that was the day he graduated. That's his mum, Catherine, and then his dad at the side there. All, seeing them all together like that. That's something that's not happened for quite a long time. They've spent Christmas with no Jack. They're heading towards second Christmas without Jack. It sounds like they've gone through two of his birthdays without him. 1 minute, it's funny, isn't it? 1 minute, life's a funny old thing. 1 minute, everything's just, normal. He went off out with his friends. Probably said goodbye, maybe a kiss, maybe love you, mum. The mum saying, oh, have a good time, or the dad, I don't think the brother lives there at the family home. It'll all be normal, and then suddenly it isn't. Suddenly, he doesn't come home. They realise that he hasn't come home. They go out looking for him, and you can imagine that feeling. At first you'd be thinking, no, turn up in a minute. He'll turn up in a minute. We'll find him. And then, poof, like in a puff of smoke, this boy has disappeared. So where is he? Where is this boy? He's somewhere. Nobody just disappears. Nobody just, goes into a puff of smoke or gets beamed up to Starship Enterprise. This boy is somewhere, and somebody probably likely knows where he is. So yeah, mystery donor offers £100,000 reward to find a missing student. So Jack O'Sullivan, who was 22 at the time of his disappearance, I think that's, thinking about that, it's my son's birthday coming up, and it's like the thought of going through birthdays, and not knowing where they are and wondering where they are on their birthday must be horrible. So he was last seen in March 2024 after he attended a house party in the Hotwells area of Bristol. So we're talking about Bristol, Hotwells. Let's just get it up on Google Maps, just to give people an idea who are not familiar with the geography of the UK like me. I'm quite familiar with Bristol now because I've looked at it so many times for Jack's case. Oh, Google Translate? No, I want Google Maps, not Google Translate. So let's have a look. So this is Bristol. Now, the thing that does worry me a little or a lot, Hotwells is here. Why does that keep coming? There's a lot of water. You can see there's water everywhere, all around Hotwells. Now, there's been lots of searches done, lots and lots of searches in the water and, of course, around. And nothing's been found, not even any of his possessions, etc. So, the police do seem to be convinced he's gone in the water, and, maybe he did for whatever reason. I don't know. We just don't know. But, yeah, there's a lot of water. He was walking alongside a lot of this water. So let me just show you where Bristol is in relation to the UK. It's sort of, it's not far from Wales, is it? Over this way, London's here, Bristol is here. So this is the area that we're talking about, and Jack went missing from Hotwells. This little area here, or that's where his phone last pinged, in Hotwells. So just to let you know that. Go back to the BBC. Find where I'd got to. So his mother, Catherine O'Sullivan, said she had initially questioned whether the offer was genuine. Can you imagine that? Once we established that it was real, we were overcome by the generosity. It was a lot to take in. If it does help us get some answers or find out where Jack is, we will be eternally grateful. Well, you've got to think that if it doesn't, gosh, if nobody responds to £100,000 reward, then maybe nobody does know anything. Maybe it has been an accident where he's fallen into the water. Surely if somebody knows something, they will respond to this. And if nothing else, what it has done, of course, is made people talk about it again. That's important, isn't it? Because, there's a lot of missing people, and we try and any case that I start following, I'll follow it through to the end. I will give, there's a few missing cases that we're covering, and every now and again I'll try and give an update, or if there's any news whatsoever. But quite often there just is no news about it. So it's just a reminder, not an update exactly. Missing people, it's a terrible thing, isn't it? Seems almost worse than losing somebody, to an accident or something like that, to just not know. what's happened to them. Though I suppose you've always got hope. There will be some hope, that maybe Jack will be found safe and well one day. Anyway, Mr. O'Sullivan's brother Ben added, "We're in a position where we'll take any help we can get. Any chance of being able to get the answers we require, we will take." And since Mr. O'Sullivan's disappearance, his family have received, I just can't believe this, abusive and threatening messages from strangers, with some people claiming to be holding Jack and demanding a ransom. His mother said this has been difficult to cope with. It's just foul, isn't it, that people would do that? We get all sorts of peculiar messages and nasty information. It's incredibly hard to deal with, but we're just doing what we can to try and understand what's happened, she said. So the family have been supported by the Missing People charity, which displayed several digital posters across Bristol to help raise awareness. So this is the timeline. Let's have a look at this timeline. And there's Jack, bless him. So on the 2nd of March at 2:53, Jack leaves a party. How do I, it says scroll right. Ooh, how do I scroll right? Hang on. Right, I see. Do I go? Oh. Gosh, what a weird way of doing it. Why not just do it normal way, scrolling down? Well, I don't think that's very user-friendly. I know I'm not brilliant, but anyway. So at 2:53, he leaves a party in Hot Wells, Bristol, and tries to stop taxis and Uber cars. Apparently, he tried to get a lift on 2 occasions, according to his mum. So this makes you wonder, did he get in a car in the end with someone? So you can see that where he's left the party, this is the Cumberland Basin, all this water. That is something that has always sort of worried me a little. There's a lot of water. This is the weirdest thing of it. Anyway, at 3:13, the last confirmed sighting of Jack is as he walked across a grassy area at the junction of Brunel Lockway and Brunel Way near Plimsoll Bridge. And on the 2nd of March, that's better, evidence from Jack's phone reveals he tried to call a friend who was still at the party at 3:24. 10 minutes later, the friend called back, but the call was disconnected before Jack had said more than hello. So he did answer it and he said hello, but he didn't say any more. 3:25, the first of 2 potential sightings of Jack on the Plimsoll Bridge, heading back in the direction of the city centre. Now, he had quite a bit to drink, Jack, so, he was walking. You could tell that by the way he was walking on the CCTV. So then at 3:38, second potential sighting on the Bennett Way slip road on the northern side of the river. And then at 5 a.m., his parents, these are his parents, notice he is not home, even though he had messaged them around 1 a.m. with plans to get a taxi. So that's when the panic started. And then at 6:44, Jack's iPhone, I think this is key, isn't it? Jack's iPhone shows as active on the Find My Friends app in the Granby Hill area. So if he's gone into the water, as the police think, why is his phone shown as active? Now, I know phones are not precise, are they? We've seen that from a lot of cases we've covered, and they talk about the data. It can't be exact. But he was still active, the data, at 6:44. It does feel like something untoward maybe has happened to Jack, that it wasn't an accident. Why was his phone still pinging at that time? Just awful for these parents and his brother, just not knowing what's happened to him. So apparently police launched an extensive investigation on the very day he went missing, with more than 30 different teams helping with the search. On the night he went missing, he had attended this birthday party in Hot Wells, and he told his mother he would take an Uber home after leaving the party. At 3:24, he tried to phone the friend who was still at the party. He could not reach them. The friend phoned back 10 minutes later, and he only managed to say hello, if it was Jack, of course, before the phone line went dead. However, Mr. O'Sullivan's phone remained active on the Find My Friends app until 6:44 GMT. Avon and Somerset Police said it would now launch a further review of its investigation. A spokesperson added they had always taken an evidence-led, open-minded and transparent approach with the shared aim of finding Jack. So it sounds like maybe it's motivated the police to open it up again a bit. You know, it's... So at the end of the day, at least this sort of massive reward is going to make a difference, you know, in one way or another. If it's only to just raise awareness again, get the police more involved again. We can be certain we've done everything possible to find Jack. A senior investigator in Avon and Somerset Police A senior investigator in Avon and Somerset Police is carrying out a further review of the investigation, they said. We continue to ask the public to come forward with any information about Jack's disappearance. So that's what they've got to say in this BBC article. We're going to have a look at an ITV article, just get a couple of, it's the same story, obviously, but just a slightly different slant on it. Yes, so £100,000 reward. I mean, it's incredible, really, isn't it? Let's see if there's anything different here. So, yeah, posting on the Find Jack Facebook page this morning, which now has more than 99,000 members. So the thing is, most people are kind, they care about the family, and they hope the family find Jack. You know, those trolls that are sending horrible messages, you know, they're sad people, aren't they? Really sad people. I mean, to be a troll is perhaps the saddest thing, isn't it? Very, very sad people that would troll a family of a missing person. Just... You really can't get your head around it at all, can you? Anyway, so yeah, they previously had told ITV, the family, the parents, Catherine and Alan, they are in a living hell. I mean, it must be a living hell. I think Catherine, especially, she's a very strong person. I don't know how she holds it all together. I've seen her being interviewed many times. She's always strong. I just don't know how she does it. I mean, I'm sure she has a lot of moments where she's not very strong. Probably got lots of times where, you know, she gets absolutely, she says here, sometimes it confuses them to the point of despair. So Avon and Somerset Police has said it believes members of the public could hold the key to finding out what has happened, and is urging anyone with information to come forward. So, and again, the last confirmed sighting of Jack was 3:13 a.m. as he walked across a grassy area at the junction of Brunel Lock Way and Brunel Way on his way home from a house party. It's just the simplest of things, isn't it? Young person went to a party, you know, decides to go home, sets off looking for a taxi, and disappears. But it's things that young people do day in, day out, don't they? So the police said that there was a potential sighting of him on the Plimsoll Bridge, and the last likely sighting of him was 3:38 a.m. walking on Bennett Way Slip Road near Cumberland Basin. This is the problem. It was near the water. So the police said they've reviewed more than 100 hours of CCTV footage. There's ongoing searches. Several searches have been carried out by the police, Jack's family, members of the public. The local communities gathered numerous times to form search parties, and Jack's parents have hired a private investigator to help with the search. Jack's brother, Ben, previously told ITV News West Country he has revisited the area where he went missing every day for more than 70 days in the hope of finding answers. And this is Jack's brother, Ben. Avon and Somerset police said since Jack's disappearance, the Forces dive team has carried out more than 200 hours of searches on the river and the surrounding banks. I mean, you would think by now if Jack had gone into the river, gone into the water, somebody would have found him by now. That, we've seen that. Happens so many times, isn't it? The police search for so long, and then normally when they've just stopped searching, some passerby finds them, or somebody working on the river or whatever, but nothing's been found. So none of his possessions either. You just can't believe that people can just disappear like that, can you? So officers have also reviewed more than 100 hours of CCTV footage and carried out more than 40 hours of land searches. But despite all this, Jack's whereabouts remain a mystery, with his mother telling ITV's This Morning she's living her worst nightmare. We're going to have a little look at some of the clips from the TV. Someone very kindly on Jack's Facebook page clipped a couple of excerpts from the appearances on the TVs, which I'm going to play. They may pull me up for copyright, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to play them in a moment. So, 40 hours of land searches. Jack's mum, Catherine, living her worst nightmare. Assistant Chief Constable Joanne Hall said the force appreciates the anguish this is having on his family and remains committed to doing everything it can to find Jack. Oh, and Avon and Somerset Police has referred itself to the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the IOPC, because of a formal complaint from Jack's family about the handling of the case. Well, we know what will happen there. It'll be all lessons learned, blah, de, blah, de, blah, but no. Do they ever come to any conclusion that's useful? But anyway, at least Jack's family made the complaint. I think that was important that they did that. So I'll just say hello to you all. Annie, Angel, Geordie, who's in the chat, Fluffy. Nice to see you all. Thank you for caring about Jack. Tracy, hi Tracy. So hi to all of you that are brave enough to come into the chat. So let's have a look now at these Facebook, the clips that were put onto Facebook. Let's see. As I say, this BBC Breakfast, so, they probably won't like it that I play it, but as long as they don't kick me off stream, but we'll see.
Now, it has been a year and a half since Jack O'Sullivan went missing after a house party in Bristol at the age of 23.
You'll remember this story. His family's been campaigning ever since to find out what happened to him. And now an anonymous donor has offered £100,000 to anyone who can provide information that might help them locate Jack. John Maguire has more.
Where is Jack O'Sullivan? It's a question thousands have asked since he was last seen in Bristol 18 months ago. A question his family ask every minute of every day since.
trying to forge an existence and carry on day to day makes it very difficult. But we are here and we'll keep going as best we can. But it's been incredibly challenging.
This is Jack, captured by a doorbell camera.
Right, I'm just going to say, if I stop it every now and again, they may not pick up and chuck me off live stream for, they did these, obviously the BBC and that, they don't really like you playing their videos, but it's just that because I'm on a live stream that sometimes they'll turf you off, that's happened. So here's Jack caught on doorbell camera.
Leaving home, heading for a party in Bristol on the 1st of March, 2024.
Oh, so that's as he was leaving. Bless. So, that's as he was leaving his home. Gosh. Oh, do you know, I bet when his mum, what I always think when the families of loved ones who go missing or something happens to them or whatever, you just want to reach in and sort of pluck him out of that picture, don't you? And say, don't go. Don't just... It's the most normal of things for a young lad to go off to a party. And it's sort of just their lives just changed completely.
And this CCTV shows him in the early hours after the party. It's thought he was trying to get home to Flaxporton, a village around 6 miles away. Since then, the River Avon and its surrounds.
Now, there was a lot of cars around, wasn't there? Let's just look at that bit again. You can see on this road here, it looks quite busy, but look at all this water. The water gives me the creeps.
Miles away. Since then, the River Avon and its surrounds have been scoured by the police. Sporton, a village around 6 miles away.
A lot of cars.
Since then, the River Avon and its surrounds have been scoured by the police, specialist search teams, and local people anxious to help Jack and his family. But nothing. Now, an anonymous benefactor has contacted the family and is offering a reward for information that will establish Jack's current whereabouts. It's worth £100,000.
It was quite a shock, quite incredible.
Now, when you see them there at home and it's just the normality of the home, but nothing's normal, nothing will be normal for them again, will it? The normal life that they were leading. Never be normal again. But it's funny, isn't it? So like these material things, they don't change. I've thought about that a lot. It's funny, isn't it? There's things that will still be here after we've gone, like we'd be gone, but like, just you must sort of look around like the normal sort of environment, if you like, of your home, etc. And then there's this big thing missing, which is your son. I mean, it's awful.
And initially you think, gosh, is this genuine? Is this real? But once we'd established, that it was, I think we were quite overcome with the generosity of the situation. It was a lot to take in, and it was something that needed proper consideration. So we haven't done this lightly. We've looked into it from a legal aspect, and if it does help get some answers or find out where Jack is or what's happened, then we will be, eternally grateful.
The reward will be administered by solicitors. Over the past 18 months.
Yeah, does somebody know something that will be able to claim that reward? I mean, that amount of money, it can loosen lips, can't it? If something has befallen Jack, some foul play, for example, it'd be unusual, wouldn't it, for nobody else to know about it? Is it more than one person that was involved? As time passes, people's lips do get looser, don't they, in that sense? What people won't talk in the first initial stages of an investigation, then maybe later on people do change their allegiances, or things happen in people's lives, and sometimes further on down the line you're more likely to get answers. And certainly £100,000 would definitely, encourage somebody to step forward if there is anybody who knows anything. And if they're not too scared to come forward.
The family have been helped by the kindness of strangers, but also beleaguered by the cruelty of some. Malicious information, even people claiming to have kidnapped Jack and demanding a ransom.
It is incredibly hard to deal with. We have to put up then with the good and the bad, unfortunately. But I would definitely say the good has outweighed the bad.
He was wearing a green quilted...
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? You want coverage, you want people to talk about it on social media, mainstream media, you want as much talking about the case as possible because you want to find your son. But yet, along with that, you do get all the horrible things as well. It's very sad that you have to put up with that. Why do people, honestly, I shouldn't even try and think why people would do that, really, but it is a mystery, isn't it? And of course, I can't get my head around it because I couldn't dream of doing that, tormenting a family, contacting a family and saying, oh yeah, we've kidnapped Jack. And it's not only this case, of course, where it happened. It happens in many cases. Why?
Barber jacket, navy trousers and brown shoes with white soles when he was last seen. Avon and Somerset Police says it's carried out extensive inquiries in an evidence-led, open-minded and transparent approach. But after pressure from Jack's family, the case is now being reviewed by a senior investigator. Meanwhile, a formal complaint...
That's good that it's been reviewed, but you see what, gosh, you just think, even if Jack himself, I'm not saying that Jack took himself into the water on purpose. I'm just saying, all that water around makes you nervous, doesn't it? For accidents and, for somebody pushing him in the water or whatever. Surely he would have turned up by now. I mean, it is a big expanse of water. But surely something would have turned up by now. His clothing, his personal items. And what about his phone still pinging at 6:44 or around about 6 in the morning?
Complaint has been filed to the Independent Office for Police Conduct. The case has always centred on the probability that Jack, having been drinking at the party and then come to this area, must have fallen into the river. But a comprehensive report written by a former Deputy Harbour Master here in Bristol concludes that he can't have gone into the river. And if he had done so, he most certainly would have been found by now. As time passes, the expectation is that hope fades. But that's all the family have to hold on to.
First thing I think of when I wake up, it still dominates my thoughts. That's why we're so eager to get some answers and obviously get Jack home. That's and living with hope is something that I still take as a positive.
Look.
And that hope won't.
Oh, they look like bros on that picture, don't they? What a lovely photo of them when they were younger. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I bet it's difficult to think about anything else sometimes. At the end of the day, you have to put one foot, this is it. No matter what problems we think we might be living with, it's not like this, and you have to put one foot forward. You have to get up in the morning. There'll be times I get up in the morning, probably don't feel like doing anything. Just not even getting out of bed, but they have to get out of bed and they have to carry on with their lives, go to work, hope that maybe there'll be some news that day in, day out. It will never change. And it's heartbreaking for this family, isn't it? For all of them.
Diminish, not at all.
My day is totally dominated by this, even now, after all this time. I've chosen for this to be my life, rightly or wrongly, but I don't think any other mother would do anything different.
This substantial reward may provide the breakthrough, may provide the answers they seek so desperately. John Maguire, BBC News, Bristol.
Well, let's hope so. So then there's There's another one, another clip.
A year and a half ago, 23-year-old Jack O'Sullivan went missing after going to a house party in Bristol.
Despite an extensive police search and CCTV showing Jack walking a few miles from his home, his family still don't know what happened that night. But now an anonymous donor has come forward and offered £100,000 to anyone who can provide information to help find him.
It was a lot to take in, and it was something that needed proper consideration. And if it does,
I think we've sort of watched that. And let me just go back and see. Maybe they're just segments. The same.
Now, it has been a year and a half since a year and a half ago, 20. Now, it has been a year and a half since Jack a year and a half ago. Now, it has been a year and a half ago, 23-year-old Jack O'Sullivan went missing after going to a house party in Bristol.
Despite
Now, it has been a year and a half since Jack O'Sullivan went missing after a house party in Bristol at the age of 23.
You'll remember this story. His family's been campaigning ever since to find out what happened to him. And now an anonymous donor has offered £100,000 to anyone who can provide information that might.
Yeah, so they're all more or less the same thing. So the key thing, of course, is this donor that's come forward. I don't know who it is. Nobody knows who it is, but thank you. That's a nice person. That's a lot of money, isn't it, for anybody's standards? A huge amount of money. And hopefully it can shake someone out of the tree. Let's hope that it can. Oh, Julia, I hope your dad's okay. I hope your dad's okay. Sorry, I got distracted then by the chat. So so anyone who may be watching in that area who may know something, you never know you just never know who's watching these videos. I've realized that over the years that I've been doing YouTube. Even my little channel, you think, you never know exactly who's watching. And you can get surprise emails and surprise messages from people that are concerned in cases, actually involved in them. That's why it's always important to be respectful, because you just never know who's watching. Hi, Yvonne. I won't be that far off finishing now, I'm afraid, now that you've... it's nothing you said. It's nothing you said. I think we'll just have a look at the website, the Find Jack website, before we finish. Because just to remind people of what he was wearing, etc. Because, of course, the thing is, somebody might have been offered some of these things to buy, they've put that big poster. Oh, right, here. Sorry, I'm talking to myself now. Somebody may have been offered one of these items, to buy if some foul play has befallen Jack. Share the website. So these are the clothes he was wearing. They're all designer things. So he's wearing this Barber jacket. They're expensive. Ralph Lauren trainers, navy blue chinos, and a cream knit lamb's wool jumper. Now, none of that has been found. So, has anyone been offered any of these items? Because these are the things that he had on his person. His driving license, a black card holder, a key fob for a car, for a Peugeot 108, a Monzo debit card, a black iPhone in a red silicone case, an AirTag in a brown case, and an Emporio Armani watch, and his house key, of course. Now, the watch concerns me. There's so many robberies these days for watches, aren't they? If Jack was there wandering around trying to get in cars, trying to get a car, and then You know, did he get in a car and then whoever was driving it noticed that he had all these, you know, that he had this watch and he had his designer Barbour jacket and designer trainers. I mean, people have been attacked for much less, you know. So just that he was actually trying to get into a car, wasn't he? Because he was trying to get an Uber. So did the wrong person stop for him? You know, you just don't know, do you? If the wrong person stopped for him. Just wish they could find out. Yeah, and then it goes through the timeline again. So the last time his parents actually heard from him was at 1 a.m. when he messaged his parents with his plans to get a taxi. Last confirmed sighting 3:17. 3:24 he tried to call a friend at the party. 3:25 the sighting of him on Plimsoll Bridge. 3:30 a.m. his friend tried to call back, but the call was disconnected after Jack said hello. That's strange as well, isn't it? You know, that is really strange. Did the battery go? Well, the battery can't have gone because it was still transmitting the phone until much later. Did someone snatch the phone off him? You know, well, what happened? Now, he was seen walking after that, though, at 3:39. Was that Jack? Why did he not answer the phone properly? 3:40 on the CCTV, walking up Bennett Way Slip Road towards Hotwells. 5 a.m. they noticed he wasn't home. And that's when they went on this Find My Phone app, placed him at the address in the Granby Hill area. And then his phone remained active on the network until this time. Now, I don't know how long the phone will stay active underwater. You know, this data, the data will be important. Yeah, very strange. The data will be important, but what is the, you know, the result of it? Bless him. So how you can help appeal any CCTV footage or vehicle dash cam, etc. There may still be some out there that hasn't been seen yet. Share, of course. Share the website. Oh, you just share it directly on there. Let's see. Oh, well, I can do that, can't I? Yeah, so that's a little thing you can do. It's like, you know, some of you were saying earlier, I wish I could help to find him. Well, one thing you can do is post these. Go on the website. Yeah, go on this website, the Find Jack O'Sullivan website, and share it to your social media. That's what we can all do to help. And the more coverage, the better, isn't it? So. Yeah, it is one of the most mysterious cases, isn't it, really? I think, you know, it's not unusual for young, you know, just a fact of life. It's not unusual for young people in general, but especially young men, to go missing, you know, on nights out when they've had too much to drink. Happens a lot, doesn't it? So, but this, I don't know, it just seems, I think it's the thing about the phone. Yeah. Let's see if I can find how many. Okay, so I was trying to find how many young men went missing in the UK for last year, but it wasn't specific enough. But anyway, 170,000 people are reported missing annually. That's a lot of people, isn't it, every year? Now, of course, a lot of those people turn up. And it says here, most incidents relate to missing children. But someone is reported, according to missingpeople.org.uk, someone is reported missing every 90 seconds in the UK. It's a lot of people, isn't it? And, you know, as I say, a lot of people turn back up again. Will Jack ever turn back up again? Or at least the family get some answers. I hope they do. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for caring about Jack. Go on the website and share the website. The more people can reach, the better. There'll still be people who don't know anything about Jack O'Sullivan. There'll be people in Bristol locally that won't know about it. It's incredible, really, isn't it? Because we follow these cases. You always assume, you know, that people will know about them. But sometimes, you know, if I'm chatting like with my family or friends or whatever who aren't into true crime, and you sort of mention someone like Jack O'Sullivan, or of course, you know, the boy who's gone missing in Bristol. Oh, what boy's that? You know, it's like not everybody knows. There'll be millions of people out there that don't know. And so, you know, the only thing that we can do is share the information. You know, we can't go there and search for him physically and stuff like that. We can pray, of course. I'm always praying. I'll ask you all if you do pray, or sometimes people don't pray, but they're sending out positive thoughts to the universe for this family. We'll pray for them. That's something, isn't it? It's all good energy going out to them to find out what's happened to Jack, to just put their minds at rest one way or another. You know, it does look like it's probably not going to have a happy ending, but some sort of resolution is necessary for this family. And if something untoward has happened to Jack, at least that they've got the dignity of bringing him home, giving him a send-off, etc. But let's hope that's not where it comes to. But anyway. Okay, I'm going. As I say, thank you for caring about Jack. Please don't forget to share this video, share the website, and let's hope that £100,000 reward, it's massive, isn't it? Let's hope it brings some results. So thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Thank you.